And there it is. I was waiting. I always have to wait until it actually, like up in my left hand corner. I don't know if, like, where's my hand? There we go. Up in the opposite corner for you. That's weird. It's over here, but when I'm looking at it, it's on this side. But anyway, I have to wait for that to say live, and then I know that I'm live. So there we go. So good evening. We got Delbert's in the house. DJ's here. Uh, Paul and Andre Dale from Ohio. Kathy's in the house. Janet is also in the house. So All Seeing Cats is here. Awesome Sauce is here. Philip from Australia. Hello, Philip. Glad to have you here tonight. Spilled Beans is here. Okie Forge is in the house. Barbara's here. So congratulations. Nice to see everybody. Asavid's in the house. We got Larry's here. Joan. Mary Taylor's here. Emil's here. All the usual suspects. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. I cannot believe it. It is already Friday. How did that happen? Man, I'll tell you, it's just the time is going absolutely crazy. It is moving very, very fast. So if any of you watched my earlier video today, I was telling you, explaining what's going on. And Jimmy had gone down to visit some family in North Carolina, dropped off that pipe. Everybody hopefully saw the pipe. That's an upcoming project. That's not going to be happening this coming weekend. We have to get the gravel and everything on site ready to go before we do that project. So that's going to have to, it's Saturday Eve. Exactly, Asif. Thank you very much for the donation as well. But we got to get that pipe here, which is here. We got to get the gravel on site before, like when we do that project, when we dig that up, that's going to be something that we have to do like all in one day. That's something that's got to happen all in one day. So we have to be organized and squared away to get that done the way that we need to. So that's kind of where we're at with that one. But the pipe is here, so that's going to be happening. Jimmy took his other trailer. I know I'm busy right now, though, dear. I'm busy. Okay. Jimmy took his other trailer. He's going to be going up. He's meeting Bud tomorrow to grab the actual food grade totes that we thought we were getting the first time, which we did not get food grade totes the first time, but we're getting them this time. Paying a little bit more for them, but it's something that we have to have here on the homestead. Water collection is going to be a huge, huge part of what we're doing. I want you to think about this, okay? The way that I look at it, if you have a large number of people, let's say we end up with a large number of people down the road that are here. Well, we do hit a dry season every year. There's like about a 3 month period of time where we do not get a tremendous amount of rain. And when we do get that rain, we need to collect every drop of water that we possibly can. And, you getting a backhoe or bobcat to install that pipe. I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do it yet, Larry. We have one of the people has a tractor that we can utilize, and they're going to be bringing that tractor down to help us with that project. So it's going to be it'll be an all hands on deck project, but we will probably have some people with pickaxes and some people with shovels, and we're going to all work together when that time comes. So most likely right now it might be April when we work on that particular project. So we're going to have to just kind of see where we're at, what we can get done, what we can get squared away in the meantime. But soon that's going to go in, which will make a huge difference. And that whole turn will make it wider, bigger, so that we can, when people are bringing in stuff into the homestead, it's going to be easier to, get that done. But so anyway, so he's on his way. He's going to be meeting Bud tomorrow to get those totes, and he's going to be bringing them back down here they'll be here by the next get together, and then everybody that's getting totes, they're going to be taking their totes to their spot, and then people will have to get them squared away from that point. So it'll come together. It's just it's another step in what we're doing. but it's a hugely important step. Water, as you know, I've talked about it a million times. Water's life. Without water, you got nothing. So the more water that we can have ready to go, what are you doing? Ready to go, the better off we're going to be. So I haven't even done the first part of this. So before we jump into anything, which we've already jumped into stuff, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No nastiness, no racism. We're not going to deal with it. No bashing other channels. I'll put that out there as well. Don't allow it here on this channel. That's not what this channel is about. To come on here and be an a-hole to somebody else's channel. I don't allow that because it's not necessary, and that's not what this is about. So, having said that, I would ask you just to please be decent. If you can't be, then those awesome moderators lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we're just not going to tolerate it. Any questions that you have that you really something that you want me to see to stand out, all cap lock so it stands out. Will you stop? I'm busy. I love you, but I'm busy. I am. All cap locks so it stands out for me. All right, so just putting that out there. Uh, does Jimmy still have his blue chainsaw helmet and bunker helmet? The reason that Jimmy was wearing the helmet in the bunker, folks, it wasn't like a big safety. Oh, I'm going to be. He kept banging his head, so he kept banging his head. So he's like, I'm going to wear a helmet under here, and that's the only reason that he was wearing a helmet because again, like I said, he kept where's JJ tonight? Oh, he's not in here. Well, I don't know. That's weird. Well, I had initially said I wasn't going to live stream on Friday. Maybe he didn't see the updated memo. I don't know. I hope he's okay. That means the rest of you are going to have to be doing double time tonight, keeping an eye out on things. So, but yeah, that's weird. I know he's usually here. I'll have to if he doesn't pop in, I'll have to give him a call after the live stream and make sure he's okay. But what are you doing? Should be a nut job tonight. But anyway, guys, we got, like I said, there's things that we're trying to get done. Like I said, water was the number one focus this year, and we wanted to get these totes in here and get things set up so we can start collecting rainwater. Because again, it's things are going to happen, and you got to make sure you have water. And we do have a dry season down here, and when the dry season comes, hopefully we have 20 275-gallon totes completely full and ready to give us that extra water that we need. And again, for the most of the folks, they're only coming down here once a month, obviously. So, but again, if it's a worst case scenario and then everybody has to be here, I mean, you think about it, you're talking about a tremendous amount of people. They're going to want to wash up every day. They're going to want to drink water. They're going to want to be able to cook. So, yep, family got home okay. They got home yesterday, and so today, well, Mom spent the night at Becky's, and then Jeannie went home yesterday, and then today, Mom and Beck went shopping, and then Mom went home today. She was happy to be home, and she's relaxing now, and so that's a good thing. Yeah, Okie Forge is right. You can never have too much water, and I don't want to be in a situation where now I will tell you what. No matter how dry it got last year, that spring down by Rob's place had water in it. So I mean, worst case scenario, we have that spring. We also have the spring on the back side of the camper down the hill. If things got bad and we had a whole bunch of us here, those are two spots that would be worked on pretty quickly to make sure that we can have water no matter what time of year it is, that we got that spring water coming out of those hills that we can utilize. And then again, like I said, again, if you have a rainstorm, and the water's there to be able to collect, you want to try to collect every single drop of it you can. With the surface area of like Dave's, he's got a 12 by 32. That's a lot of surface area. And I think Dave is getting 3 totes, if I'm not mistaken. Well, you'll see it when we get them all down here and we get them all set up. But I think Dave's getting like 3 totes. I know Rob's getting at least 2. I know Mark was going to get a couple as well. Sandy's going to get some. Bud's already got two up there, and I believe he plans on bringing down at least one more. I showed you those that he has, and those are already food grade. So, we'll have, we're gonna the way we're gonna do it is like the wolf's lair behind the camper here. Okay, that's gonna have two totes on it. The pavilion, which is a 12 by 24, that's going to have four totes on it. So we're going to make sure, that we're collecting everything that we possibly can, as we can. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And it's just like I said, it's one of those things. It's going to be a process. It's going to take time. One of the things that everybody's going to have to do with their totes, got to buy spray paint, paint them all black, so you're not getting that sunlight coming in there. The tote that I have behind, uh, the battery room, that when I spray painted black, 2 years ago, whenever we set that up, it might be like 2 years already since we set that up. But, the more that we have set up now, see, here's the key. The more that we have set up now, the better off we're going to be in the big picture of things, you know. Um, I've seen picture of totes with sides cut out and heat lamps added for keeping chickens warm. Oh, really? Okay. Why haven't they figured out a better way to fight all these wildfires? That's an interesting statement, neighbor Bob. That is a very interesting statement. One of the guys that I know that follows the channel, he had the fires were really close to where his location was, and he already had to protect his property. He had a fire suppressant thing set up to help protect his property. I think more people should be, you know, on top of that and, doing, making sure that they're See, again, why are so many people, again, I'll say this, why are so many people relying on somebody else to take care of something that they can take care of themselves? All right. Why, if you live, why, if you live in an area that's prone to, fires, all that type of stuff, why are you putting a shingled roof on those houses? Why are they not putting metal roofs on those houses? Because here's a weird concept. If a spark hits that metal roof, it's not going to catch that metal roof on fire. What about a skirt for your totes? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Helen. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But again, if you have a house that's in an area that has forest fires, there's a lot of things that you can do to get those things squared away. 150K plus cattle parish, largest meat producing area in Texas. Coincidence? Ah, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it, Don? I'm sure that won't drive up meat prices at all, more so than they already are. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. So, what I was going to say, title of this video, right? What do they know that we don't know, right? So, what I was going to I was going to share something with you first. And then we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to talk about other things that are involved that's going on as well. So, the great cash out, Jeff Bezos, Leon Black, Jamie Dimon, and the Walton family. Okay, so these are all people that have sold a combined $11 billion. And I'm going to say that again. Those guys have sold a combined 11 billion, not million, $11 billion worth of company stock in February for the first time ever. Some of them for the first time ever. Okay. I want you to think about that. Just the amount of money that's being pulled out by the ultra wealthy. Why are they pulling that much out? They don't need that kind of money. That's a tremendous amount of money being pulled out. So, what do they know? Why are they pulling all that money out of the stock market? Isn't the stock market supposedly doing so wonderful and it have historical highs, right? So, here's the other thing that I wanted to talk about along that same line with that. And we'll talk more about that particularly. But there's a lot of these ultra wealthy people building bunkers. I wonder why they're doing that. Why did I hear what Ed said in Dr. Evil's voice? Right? Exactly. That's funny. Um, but again, why are they all building bunkers? Why are they pulling their money out? You know, what do they know? What do they know that's coming that we don't know? So that would be, and of course, that's pure speculation. That's pure speculation. I'm not trying to read anything into anything, okay? But what I find curious is when these type of people are making those type of moves. It's just like this, okay? When you have congressmen and congresswomen, right, buy into, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett as well. Yep, Dale, you're 100% correct. I was going to mention them as well, but it's just like when a congressman or a congresswoman decides to invest into a company, right? And then all of a sudden, magically, they end up having like a big contract with the government, that company. But thank goodness they had the foresight and to be able to invest in that company before it became public knowledge of what the information was out there. And then all of a sudden, that stock goes boop, right through the roof. And our wonderful politicians make a whole bunch of. Come on, you got to get down, baby. I love you, but you got to stop. Um, our politicians make a whole bunch of money. So, that's not any insider information, I'm sure. I'm sure that has absolutely nothing to do. It's just that, these politicians, I'm sure, are just much more savvy investors than any of us. I'm sure that's what it has to be. So, not that they're getting special information. So, what information is being given to these ultra wealthy people that they're making moves right now? Yeah, Pelosi just made a bunch of money on some stocks. Yes, she did again. I mean, because she doesn't have enough. She's probably just squeaking by on that salary that she's getting from the government. Poor thing. Feel so bad for her. I don't know how she does it. All of them, folks, though. All of them do that. You know. Yet poor Martha Stewart went to jail, and she came out of jail and became more famous than ever. How crazy is that? That's our society, folks. That is our society. She needs to get her hair done. That's right. Uh it's those type of things that happen like that. When you see the ultra elites building bunkers, when they're buying property up in New Zealand, right, and they're making bunkers there. When they're buying up property in Hawaii and they're building bunkers there, uh, you have to question that. What's going on? Why are they doing that? Like they tell us that are preppers that we're crazy, that we're out of our minds. Why are you doing what you're doing, right? But it's okay for these people to do whatever they want to do. That's perfectly fine, and we should not pay any attention to that. I just, like I said, I've had a feeling, for a while that there's another shoe about to drop, folks. I really think that there is, and it isn't going to be pleasant when it does drop, and it isn't going to be for our best interest. I can almost guarantee you that. But again, yeah, don't listen to their words, watch their actions. Exactly, Barbara. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But again, whatever is going to happen is going to happen regardless, one way or the other. There's not anything we're going to be able to do to change it. But the only thing that we can do is control what we do to prepare in the meantime. Again, it's like with last year being my first year living down here full time. The previous November is when I moved down here full time. So November was a year that I've lived here full time now down in West Virginia, and it was a really an eye opener, watching the weather and seeing what the weather does down here, and paying attention to, we like I said, we had in the 3 month period of time, I think we had 2 inches of rain, that whole 3 month period of time. And, I was really low water wise at that point because we actually didn't have all the buildings that we have in here now. So, it was definitely a interesting thing that you have to pay attention. Wherever you're at, you better know your weather patterns. You better know what's going to be coming and stuff like that. So the more prepared you are, the better off you're going to be. Because people would say, well, why do you need so many totes, right? Why do you need so many totes? Well, I'm going to make a number up, and I'm just going to make a number up. So I have the spring over here. I have the spring over here. We have the well that we can utilize as well. Okay. If I have 100 people down here, and we're just making a number up, I'm not saying it's going to be 100 people, but let's say I had 100 people down here living here full time. All right. How much water do you think that that would take to keep everybody squared away with washing up, cooking, drinking water? When the rule of thumb is a gallon of water per person per day, uh, you know, and think about anybody that takes a shower. How much water are you utilizing just taking a shower? You know, ASIF says 5 gallons per person minimum. Yeah. So, you're looking at a lot of water. So if I have, a whole bunch of totes here, all right, that where Rob's got his totes and he'll have his totes full. Well, if he's got two totes, he's got over 500 gallons of water available to him. He's not going to need to ask anybody else, hey, man, can I get some of your water? And he can walk out to the spring. And that's why he wanted to be where he's at, because he's right by the spring. So if things get to where it's a problem, he could get water from the spring, which is a smart thing as well. You know, Mark's going to have the same thing. I know that Bud's going to have three. Like I said, Dave is going to have three. And so we're going to have four on the pavilion. Like I said, we're going to have two more on the Wolf's Lair. And so, we're going to have, once they're all full, obviously, we're going to be able to. We measured ours and figured if we filled a 5 gallon bucket full, it would wash two adults. Oh yeah, that's about right. Because I mean, I can take a shower by my outside, just using water to wash down and soap up and rinse off, about 2.5 gallons. That's what I can use to shower myself, and that's using that's standing outside, in nature, using a cup to rinse myself. I use about 2.5 gallons just to wash up. So that's it's not you know it adds up pretty quickly. So, but yeah, you don't need to shower every day. Once every 2 weeks is enough. Yeah, okay, John. Come down here and work a couple of days and tell me you don't need to shower. All right, that's all I'll say there. You come down here, John. I know you're probably being sarcastic, and that's absolutely fine. But I can tell you right now, after one day of being down here and working and doing the stuff that we do, I definitely am showering that night. I'm washing up because it is you're nasty. You feel grimy. You stink. You know, but yeah, you could maybe get away with every other day. You could, but you're still every day you're going to want to wash your hands, your face. You're going to have to wash your hands, especially if you're going to work with food. That's where you don't want to have those issues with working and preparing, food. So, those are things that absolutely, again, that you really, really need to think about and plan ahead for, and all those type of things. So. Um, I know when I spend a day splitting wood or gardening, I want to shower. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will tell you this right now. When we did, do you think you'll put in a ram pump to move water uphill? We have thought about that. That's a possibility. Again, what that's going to come down to, if the creeks are flowing that well that we could utilize the ram pump, we're probably going to have our things full anyway, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just, how do I shower in the winter? That's well, what I do here. Now I have a shower in the bathroom here. Never used it. I've never used the shower in the bathroom. So what I do, actually I'll show you real quick. I have this bowl, and what I do is I'll heat water up on the stove, and I'll take. Come on, Hella, stop, baby. You gotta get down. Stop. I'll take a washcloth. Usually I shave my head and my face first, so I'll do that. I'll heat the water up, do that, get that cleaned up, and then I'll reheat more water again. Yeah, it's called a horse bath, exactly. But I do the whole body. I just don't do the groins and the pits, Dawn. I take care of everything. But I'll with a washcloth, I'll wipe down, I soap up, and then I rinse off. So, but yeah, it's so weird. I will tell you this, okay? So you guys are gonna love this. So, Mom and Becky and Jeannie had the hotel room, and I said to them, "Oh my God, I'm gonna use the shower, right?" And I took a soak in the tub, and it was the first time in over a year that I've taken a soak in a bathtub. Absolutely, yes, I did, and it was awesome. But the property in New York, we have a shower obviously inside and stuff, but it's just a shower. It's not a tub. I don't have access to that right now down here, so I shower how I need to shower. But it was definitely, and I took a super hot shower first, really hot water, almost to the point where I couldn't handle it, and then I took a nice soak, and that was pretty awesome, but anyway, that felt good. But I've shared that with you. But it was the first tub soak that I've had in quite a while. Over I don't know how long exactly, but definitely over a year. I know it's that long. So, because I don't go to hotels, I haven't been, you know, gone to a hotel and I couldn't even tell you when. So we got 362 in the chat, folks. We got 159 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. As long as you keep it clean, it's all that matters. Oh yeah, absolutely. But also, again, it really helps with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better for the channel. So I do appreciate the thumbs up for that. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Now, when it comes to being clean, folks, I will tell you what, I'm pretty anal retentive about that just because, being a nurse, again, especially when an SHTF event would happen, making sure that everybody is washing up and cleaning up. And again, if you're going to handle food, they're going to have to be washing their hands on a regular basis and those type of things. So those are things that are really, really super important that a lot of people don't think about. But, I try to think about all those things. Now, we're going to set up showers down here. We're going to get those set up, like I told you, we're going to utilize those totes. So, but, it's just, getting things squared away and getting things lined up and set up so that we're ready to go is really important. Think about this too. Now we're talking about just hygiene. Well, what about animals, right? You got your animals. She drinks a ton of water a day. The chickens have to have water. They got to have that cleaned out and changed. I actually did that tonight when I locked them up tonight. I changed out their water. I got their bucket for food. I take that into the battery room and I get it ready, and I won't take that back out until the morning because the mice get enough. Had another drowned mouse in the water. We have to have the stupidest mice ever because I would say I've had a minimum of 12 drowned mice so far. Get into the bucket of water and they drown. So I just, I don't, whatever. Oh, I got to tell you again, I had another older video removed by YouTube today. Another one saying, spreading false information, medical. They're always medical misinformation. Because if I make a statement about something, right, and in this one they removed it because and it's amazing if I'm saying something negative about big pharma, those seem to be the ones that get taken down quite a bit. So I was in the video that got taken down. It was a live stream. I was talking about the efficiency of the flu shots. So, and I'm not going to get into anything about that, but I just did read an article where they were saying that this year, and I want you to think about this, okay? And this is an article that I just read that they just put this information out, and they said that the flu shots were 42% effective this year. That's their information. That's not anything I'm making up. So they're saying in the information that I read today that the flu shots this year were 42% efficient. It's like when I lived in New York, okay? When I lived in New York, and the city school district of Rochester, um, they had a graduation rate of 42%. And that was like, so my daughter went to kindergarten in the city of Rochester because of where we lived in Charlotte, which was right down by the beach, but it was part of the city school district. And, you know, the, so the graduation rate was 42% from graduating from high school with the city. And so obviously we sold our house and we moved. And I love that house. But unless we did homeschooling, which we didn't do, there was no way we were staying there. My kids were not going to go to the city school district because of the simple fact is they're behind the eight ball no matter what. Now there's kids in there that do well and graduate and everything like that, but you're dealing with a lot of people. It's not good. It's not a good environment. So we moved from there. We moved to Greece, New York, and then from Greece, New York, we moved down to the Homestead, and the kids did 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Well, Heather did. Eddie didn't, but 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th down there. So, but and that was a great school. Where she went to school down there was a much better school than dealing with the crap in the city. But I know this is off topic, but I was thinking about your chickens. Have to find some way to let them graze pasture out there. You actually, CD, I don't. My chickens in New York, you know, same thing. They were inside and they have their pen, and that's where they go, and that's it. Um, hey Ed, what you were saving the shower in the camper for? Is it just for storage or something? Well, yeah, I'm using it for storage only. I didn't want to have to worry about pipes freezing underneath and dealing with all that type of situation. So that's why I've really never used it. And I really haven't had to. So actually what I store in the shower is all my paper goods, my toilet paper, Kleenex, and paper towels, all are stored in that shower stall. And I'll be honest with you, it is dustier than dusty in there because, like I said, I really don't use it. If I need another box of Kleenex, I'll open the door, I'll grab a box of Kleenex and use it, or toilet paper, whatever the case may be. So yeah, I got to get in there and I really got to clean that because it's pretty nasty. I hate to admit that, but it's pretty nasty. So um, how is Heather and what's she up to? She's doing well. Her boyfriend moved in with her. I may have told you guys that. I'm not sure if I did or not. And how big is your hot water heater on the camper? How long would how long could a hot shower be? Honestly, I don't know. To be honest with you, I know like the storage tanks, or I don't know, what are they, 300 gallon or something to that effect, or not 300 gallon. They're probably not 300 gallon. I'm not even sure how big the storage tanks are because, like I said, I've never used them. So, I've just always kind of gone around it and done it that way. So, but anyway, you know, again, it's just getting things more squared away and getting things more ready. And to me, like I said, the focus when we met, we got together in January and we talked about the focus had to be water. Water was the number one thing this year, because again, when, not if, but when something does go down, we got to make sure we got enough water down here so people don't come down here and be like, well, now I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do that, or spending a majority of our time hunting down and trying to get water. That's not the way we want to be doing things. So, with proper planning ahead, looking at the big picture, where again, it's always comes down to, folks, okay, what is our weaknesses and what do we need to do to correct our weaknesses, and that's what we're trying to work on. When is the hoist going into the bunker? It's going to get put in this next get together, Larry. And I'll do a video on that, and I'll show you guys that when we do that. But yeah, that is definitely going in, and we will be utilizing it for the next get together because that's important. That one's going to be important. So, but yeah, it's like I said, we're just trying to get things squared away. I think the bunker is really important. I've talked about the importance of the bunker. Uh, what is the best way to store potatoes long term? In a dark, cool place, Sam, away from other things that are going to help the acceleration of them breaking down. You gotta do your research on that, Sam, and find out where there's like you could get a wooden bin, a separate wooden bin for your potatoes. You put your potatoes in there and then you cover them. Burlap works great for that. Okay. Do you expect any big event before November? John, I don't make those kind of predictions. I'm hopeful, to be honest with you, that nothing happens before November. I've talked about this a lot of times, and I feel that when things go completely haywire, it'll be in the wintertime or like just before, when all the harvesting is done, when the weather has changed and the leaves are off the trees. And I honestly believe that that's when something was happened because you would have all winter long for the numbers to be decreased exponentially. And that would be with a grid down type of a situation. Um, so that wouldn't shock me if it would happen November, December. Again, that like I said, that would be the time. Like I said, if I was going to do it, if I was going to attack this country, that's when I would do it. So, but again, uh, how do you keep the house cool where all your food buckets are? Ceiling fans or blackout curtains for ventilation? It really depends on where you're storing your stuff. I have a lot of stuff down in the big blue house, and that sits in the woods and it's shaded down there. It's always much cooler down there. It's not getting a ton of direct sunlight, especially in the summertime when the leaves are on the trees. It doesn't get a whole lot at all. So that uh, Tina says, I think so too, Ed. So I'm waiting on sales for a wood stove. Get what you need to get ahead of time, Tina. Get your piping, get your wall kit, and all those type of things that you're going to need for that wood stove. Get your fire brick, get your cement board that you're going to put down on the floor and then behind it. Get all those type of things. Those are things that you can get now that are probably not going to be on a big sale. But those are things that you could definitely pick up now that are going to make a big, big difference in the long run of things. So, maybe an event during the April 8th eclipse. I don't think so. I don't think so. But like I said again, what the game plan is like people have asked, well, what's the bunker for? The main purpose of the bunker is going to be a couple of things. I want to have an underground freezer that we can have without electricity down there. So that's one of the things that we want to have down there. The second thing is I want to have food storage down underground because it's always going to stay at 58 degrees. It's cool, it's dark, and that's ideal for storage. Now, when you're storing your vegetables, right, your potatoes, your carrots, all those type of things, you got to make sure that different things have off gassing, like tomatoes would have off gassing, stuff like that. You don't want to put those with things like your potatoes. You're going to want to keep those in separate areas and all that type of thing. So, something to think about ahead of time. Again, with proper planning, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the things we will definitely be putting in this year here at the homestead is going to be potatoes. Potatoes, if you had one choice, folks, if they said to you, you can only grow one thing, make it potatoes. Because potatoes are going to be something that they're going to last long. They're going to have a long, storage life. And plus, with potatoes, you can do so many different things with potatoes. You just don't have to have them one way. I love my canned potatoes. Yeah, you can can them. You can. freeze dry them, get them down into potato flakes, all those type of things, and they're going to store, and it's going to be a good way to do that. But you know, again, it's all about planning, thinking ahead. And again, look at your situations right now, folks. This would be my biggest advice to anybody right now, because I don't know what level of prepping you're at. I don't know where you're at, what you're doing, what you need to work on. Okay, but how are you going to get the bunker to freeze? Oh, that's easy, Russell. I'll explain that real quick. Hold on, let me get a drink and I'll explain that. But before I do that, we're at 409 in the chat. We're at 219 on a thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. I thank you ahead of time. It really does make a huge difference also with the algorithm, so I thank you for that reason as well. All right, so how do you make a freezer underground? It's real simple, to be honest with you. What you do is the first thing you do is you get underground, you get your area that you're going to turn into your freezer. So then you're going to take that foam insulation that they use, the 2-inch pieces, and like I would double that up, put that all on the inside of that room to start with. Okay. Then what I'm going to be doing is or you could even put like a vapor barrier in there as well that's going to keep the cold in that area. You're going to have your main doorway. So here's your main doorway. You're going to open that door up. You're going to have a chamber in between. So once you walk into that first section, you close that first door. Then you're going to have a second door. Then you open the second door. Why do you do that? You do that because if you have just one door that you're opening, as soon as you open that door, the cold's going to come out. You don't want that. So you go into open that first door. You have your inner chamber area. You close that one, then you open up your freezer part door. You go in there, okay? And then what you're going to do, you're going to go into that second chamber, and then you're going to insulate the crap out of that area to start with, okay? So you're going to make sure it's really well insulated to start with. Then what you're going to do, that you're going to start out with a temperature of 58 degrees, because once you're under the frost line, folks, it's always going to be 58 degrees unless you artificially heat it or artificially cool it. Now, the way that you're going to cool that is you're going to take 5-gallon buckets, all right, and you're going to use salt water. Why salt water? Because anybody tell me why salt water, not just regular water? Because I'll tell you here in a second if nobody puts it up there. But you're going to use salt water. Salt water freezes at a colder temperature than regular water. Yep. So salt water is going to freeze at a lower temperature, and it's going to stay frozen longer because of the salt in it. It's going to last a lot longer. So what you're going to do is you're going to take and this is a conservative guess, folks. Okay, I'm not sure exactly um, how many we would need, but I'm going to say a conservative number of at least 250 buckets, 5-gallon buckets that we're going to freeze. Once you put those buckets into that chamber, it's going to lower your temperature down to 32 degrees in that room. All right. Now you're going to have to periodically rotate buckets in and out and that type of stuff. So yeah, sawdust can be used to keep. Yeah, you can do ice. They do ice houses as well, and they use sawdust. You can do that as well. That's how they used to do it. But with a 5-gallon bucket, we're not having all that wastewater going off and that's what we're trying to avoid. So you can refreeze those buckets, have it in a rotation, and boom, boom, boom. That's going to take that temperature from 58 down to 32. Now you got a freezer. Now you can take your beef, your chicken, your goats, whatever you got, your pig, whatever you have, you put it in that freezer and it's going to keep it cold. And that's how you do an underground freezer with zero electricity. And so that's what the game plan is. As soon as we get in, I would say another 6 feet. If we get in another 6 feet, and then we'll have get the hallway the way that we want to have the hallway. All right, so get in 6 more feet from where we're at, then we start a room this way to the left, and then we start a room to the right, which means you can have 2 people working on those two different rooms at the same time, have a third person pulling out the debris, or even two people pulling out debris, and then you got one person up on top running the winch, getting stuff out, dumping it into a wheelbarrow, and then getting rid of it. So, but how do you get the buckets to freeze in July? Well, hopefully you've got enough that they'll last for quite a while. That's the key. You want to make sure, Russell. What I kind of thought about that a little bit as well. Okay, and in a worst case type of scenario, what you would have to do is, if you can have a regular freezer that you could use with an off grid system, and take 4 or 5 buckets at a time, put them in that freezer for a day or so, pull them out, put them into the bunker, and pull out the next ones if you had to. We're not talking about, these things aren't going to melt like a normal thing would melt. It's not going to melt. Yeah. Oh, Delbert's saying salt water freezes at 28.7 degrees Fahrenheit. There you go. They don't freeze at 32 like regular water does. So thank you, Delbert, for that information. So again, you would have to, that's one way that you could do that. Oh no, it is egg count time. I apologize. We're behind schedule. Again, we're at 407 in the chat. We got 242 on the thumbs up, folks. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to do that ahead of time. And I do appreciate that. It really, will you insulate the floor? Not all of it, Mountain Homestead, or Mountain Man. I'll tell you right after the egg count. I'll tell you why not all the floor. I'll tell you in a second. But anyway, again, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel as well. Keep those thumbs up coming, and I do appreciate that as well. Okay, now, so you guys are doing guesses, and I haven't started yet. So all those guesses that you have up there are not counting. I haven't started the egg count yet. You guys know this game. Why do we do this every time? We need to stop guessing, because I haven't said start yet. All right, right now, egg count. How many eggs, and yes or no for the white hen? God, you guys drive me crazy. I love you all, but you drive me crazy. Being pushy doesn't help, okay? It doesn't make me go faster. Putting your answers up, it doesn't make a difference until I say go, because I'm not counting any of them. You guys are too funny. So give you guys a minute to get your guesses, and I'm going to take a drink of delicious green tea. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. All right, if you had the same exact guess as DJ, and this is DJ's not his first win. DJ had 4 eggs today, and yes for the white hen. So congratulations, DJ. You've won nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. I'm curious to see when the spring comes, if any of these hens get broody. That's what I'm kind of curious to see if that happens. I don't know if they're going to get broody or not. So it'll be interesting to see. But anyway, so going back to the question, that was a good question. Am I going to insulate the floor? I will insulate part of the floor. And why is that? You're going to have condensation off the buckets. Okay. You're going to have condensation off buckets no matter what. When they're melting, which is going to take a while. So that's the other thing. It'll take a while for them to melt. So it's not going to be a quick process. Like if you had a 5-gallon bucket that you froze and you set it outside, it'll probably melt pretty quickly. But if it's already in a cold area, it's going to melt much, much slower. And obviously, you're going to keep an eye on that temperature in there. You're not going to be in and out of that freezer area 5 times a day. Okay. Maybe at best, you're going to go in there every other day or once or twice a week, period. So, that's kind of how you would do that. But I would like to definitely have like another freezer as a backup that we could utilize off of the solar system to help freeze buckets and do it that way. So that would be part of what we're thinking about doing as well. So it's all a process. But again, the reason that you're going to only insulate part of the floor is for that drainage of the condensation of the bucket. That water has to go someplace. So if you got that room super tight, Where's that water going to go? It's going to sit there, and you don't want that either. Are you making a second entry exit shaft? Yes, goes for preparedness. That's going to be part of our plan. We're actually, I want to have more than one. You know, there'll be more than two ways in and out. I would like to eventually have 3 to 4 different ways that we could get out of the bunker if we had to. And that's just for safety, number one. In case we were attacked, number two, you know, we could pop up, you know, like they see us all go into the bunker for say, right? And they think, okay, we got them, they're in this bunker. And then we can pop out over here, we can pop out over here and dispatch the enemy. And plus, again, if you have one way in or out, you are digging a tomb. All right, that's how that works. If you have one way in and one way out, you're in a tomb. So you definitely want to have more than one way in case something should happen. Again, if you guys saw what we're digging through, okay, if you saw what we're digging through and you were down here, and I've had people that came down here, you know, that joined the group and they were like, ah, okay, I see it now. Because when you see it, you're realizing the possibility of a collapse. And I do appreciate all those people that tell us that we're digging our own grave and it's going to collapse and blah 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 blah. You know, I appreciate that, and that's very nice of people to say that. And I'm a big believer in safety, and if it wasn't safe, I wouldn't be in it either. Okay, but I do want to reinforce it just for extra support. That's what I want to do. So I'm definitely planning on doing that, but we have to get it squared away the way that we need to get it squared away before we can start putting up, you know, angle iron in there and then wire mesh. I want all that. I do. Because if there is a partial collapse over here, if you can get back into the part of the tunnel that's got the support and structure, it's not going to collapse. But I honestly don't believe that bunker is going to collapse. I mean, it's like trying to dig through concrete, to be honest with you. So, just got here. Do your bunker doors swing inward, or are they like coffin lids, etc.? They swing out and can be blocked by a single 2x4 propped against the door. Right now, we don't have any doors in it at the moment at all, but the doors will swing inward. They're not going to be where anybody could block us in. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and that's a smart question. So I don't understand how wood and concrete can hold all the weight, and that clay is so heavy. The way it's going to work, Larry, if you look at ancient Roman structures, the way that they did stuff, they did not have flat roofs. Okay, they had arched. Everything was arched, which is greater support. Okay, so that's part of what they did. And those structures, if you look at a lot of those, are still standing today, all these thousands of years later. And because of the fact that the engineering of what they did, it makes it that much stronger, and it can hold a tremendous amount of weight. Excuse me. And so that's why everything is going to be arched, every part of that tunnel, so that support the weight. And again, I honestly don't believe that we're looking at any issues with collapsing because of what we're digging through. Okay, but again, I am going to put angle iron in there. I'm going to put wire meshing up there, and then everything will have concrete around the sides and the top for extra support, and it will definitely it'll be squared away. It'll definitely be squared away. It's going to take time. I mean, we're doing what we can. I don't go down there and work by myself. I will not ask anybody else to go down there and work by themselves. You need to have. It's like a geodesic dome, exactly. Okie Forge, exactly. And you look how sturdy those things are. So, but you know, it's just, why do these things not collapse if they're not if they're properly supported? You look at I don't know if you guys watch the guy out in California that has the property out in Cerro Gordo. Do you guys ever watch that? Well, they dug all those tunnels back in the turn of the century, early 1900s. and he goes down there all the time. And certain parts are collapsed, and there's wood supports. Right, there's wood supports down there that are 100 years old. And a lot of those tunnels are still there. He's go all the way down to like the 900 level. So it's 900 feet below, the ground. These tunnels, they were digging out the silver and stuff like that. So, and that's actually a great show if you ever get a chance to watch that. That's a fun one too. I really like, everything that he's doing up there. Really, really good guy, and trying to bring that town back to life. And it's really interesting. And then he had the hotel burned down, and now they're rebuilding the hotel. And what he's had, and again, it's California, what he's had, the hoops that he's had to jump through to get the permission to build that hotel back up. Unbelievable. So, and a nasty earthquake or a Yellowstone supervolcano would take care of that. Oh, out there? Is that what you're talking about? But yeah, okay, Don. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, well, and again, I mean, but he's down there all the time, exploring and going this way and that way and crawling through places. I'm gonna tell you what, I am not claustrophobic. So I mean, being a confined, closed space is I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not crawling through something where I got that much clearance. All right, I ain't doing it. Not happening. I'm too fat. I don't want to get stuck. The last place I want to get stuck is someplace underground where I can't get out of. No, thank you. So, um, like I said, our tunnels. Um, what's the channel called? Oh my God. You just look up Sarah Gordo. Sarah Gordo in California. And I can't think of the name of his channel off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but if you type in Sarah Gordo, California, it'll come up. Um, he's got, I think he's got over 1 million subscribers that watch the channel, and they've done some really cool stuff up there. And he's always, doing different things. So, but anyway, you know, there's Ghost Town Living. Yes, okay, thank you very much. Viking Prepper just put it out there. Ghost Town Living. Yep, that's the one. So he's been there almost 2 years now, or something like that. I can't remember exactly how long he's been up there, but he's been working on that stuff, and it's like a passion. And see, that's the thing. What I think a lot of people lose sight of when it comes to prepping and preparedness and trying to live and be as free as you possibly can be. It has to be a passion. It has to be a passion. It has to be something that you want so bad that you want to make it happen. And I think a lot of people want to do it, but they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Financially, they can't do it, or all those type of things. But if are working on stuff ahead of time, and you're preparing, and you're, like I said again, if you have a group, the financial burden of it is not so great when you have a whole bunch of people working together and pooling the money. Projects like that pavilion, folks. That pavilion came out of money from everybody in this group, and it wasn't cheap. I mean, I'll give you just one number from the pavilion. When we put the floor in, we had to use pressure treated wood. All right, 3/4 inch plywood on the floor. That floor cost $1,400 just for the floor alone. And that's not, and there's nothing on the floor other than just the hardwood 3/4 inch plywood on there right now. So the floor alone was $1,400. So, but yeah, so it's just, again, you have to, if you can work together with people and come together, yeah, so Cerro Gordo. Yep. Yep. But if you work together with people, it comes together. It really, really does. Yeah, it's one of the channels I do enjoy watching because he has that passion, and I think that that's awesome. And like I said, you have to have that passion. So, but yeah, it's just like I said, steady, 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 guys. work towards it, make things happen. I'm going to strongly encourage you all to sit down, assess where you're at, your preparedness level, look at what your weaknesses are. Where are you weak? Where do you need to improve? Okay. And that's what you have to do. And so, I basically was looking at where we're at, what we're doing. Yeah, we got a bunch of structures in here now, which is hugely important as well, because you have to have some place to stay, and everybody's working on their places, which is great as well. But, I realized that one of our weaknesses here was water. So we did get the well put in last year. So that makes a big difference. But the more water we're able to collect without having to tax the well, tax either one of the springs, it just makes sense. So that's why our focus this year was going to be water. And we thought with getting those first 22 totes that we're going to be in great shape. Well, it didn't work out that way. The best laid plans of mice and men, as they say. But it happens, and you live and you learn. But so now we're you know doing what we got to do next. We will utilize those other totes. They'll go for other projects, and that'll be okay. But it wouldn't have been something that we would have worked on right now with those other totes. But like I said again, you live and you learn. And but we're coming along, and we're getting there. And I keep saying, man, I keep telling I'll tell you what I keep telling the group. I hope we get enough time. I hope we get enough time. I hope we get enough time for everybody to get their wood stoves in. I hope we get enough time to get everything squared away that we need to get squared away. Our rain catchments and our gardens and getting greenhouses in, and all those things. Yeah, JJ's here, guys. When did you get here? Were you just late? Because it says it got deleted by JJ. I have no idea what that guy was saying. Yeah, English only. Oh, we're gonna have. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've already talked. We're gonna franchise, right? So I've talked about the Spittoon Saloon, right? Wait, let me get this. It's weird how this camera does this. Spittoon Saloon and Hunt Club, right? We're going to have eventually the Splittoon Saloon 2 is going to be here, down here. So we're going to have that eventually, but that will happen. That will definitely be. And yeah, if we had it underground, that would even be cooler. So anyway, um, we got to do shout outs, guys. So before we do shout outs, we got 313 in the chat. We're at 291 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. I do really appreciate that. Again, it really does make a big difference with the algorithms as well. The more interaction on the channel, the better for the channel. So I do appreciate that support as well. Also, guys, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And what about the underground cave in New York State? I did not have an underground cave in New York. I didn't have anything underground up there. So, but I had actually planned on digging into the hill up there. If I had stayed up there, I would have. But obviously, I'm not there. So, all right. So let's keep those thumbs up coming, and thank you. And again, if you would subscribe, I would appreciate it. Always like, comment, and share as well. And thank you very much. All right, so we're going to start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. Ryan growing giant vegetables. I can't wait to work on some projects here at the homestead here with Ryan this year as well. I think that'll be a lot of fun. We'll see what we can get done here, like he's doing over on his property. We got a little bit more room over here to grow stuff, so that's a pretty cool thing. There is Icky Can up in Canada. Icky Can's a great guy, really good, living off grid almost as long as I have, and I definitely think you should support him as well. There is Angry Prepper, that is Jason down in New York City. Jason is a good guy. Definitely should support him as well. Very, very smart. Definitely an asset to any group out there. There is Alaska Prepper, that is Rudy. I like Rudy a lot as well. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels, same guy, unbelievable builder, up in Canada, living off grid up there and doing his thing up there. Really, really interesting to see him and do what progress he's making with his property. There is Demcat. I like Demcat as well. I think he's down in Kentucky now, if I'm not mistaken. Really good guy, a lot of good information on his channel as well. There is Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. We have the 80K man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, a very interesting story, definitely worth a listen to. There is Marfugal News with Adam and Dax. Love Adam and Dax, great guys out there in Seattle. Definitely worth to listen to as well. We have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar. Cody is a good guy. A lot of great information on his stuff as well. So definitely check him out. Excuse me. Where am I? Red Poppy Ranch. We have Survival Lily coming at us out of Europe, giving us all the information of what's going on over there. There is Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota, living off grid up there. Nice young couple. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team, two different channels. A lot of good information on both of their channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. Definitely worth to listen to. There is Green Greg's. Love Green Greg's as well. He's getting ready to make a move. He's moving out to Arizona. Southern Prepper One with his Boots on the Ground series. Very squared away individual as well. A lot of good information there. You have Gray Man Prepping. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a long time. Good channel. A lot of good information on their channel as well. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there living off grid. And it's amazing how they have to build everything with metal down there because wood just does not last. It's really interesting to see the change of what they have to do to make things work down there. There is the Green Dream Project out in Arizona. Nice young couple living in the desert, showing you what it takes to live in the desert. Very interesting. There is Camping with Steve, Steve Wallace doing stealth camping. Really good guy, really interesting to watch him. He's up in Canada as well. There is Bush Doctor Survival. You have Monkey Works. There is the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Real good channel. A lot of good information with her channel as well. Then you have another master builder, and that's Boss of the Swamp. This guy is amazing to watch him build, and very cool to see the stuff that he does. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond is a real smart guy as well. Uh, just full of a lot of good information, everything that's going on with the Grand Solar Minimum as well. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Straight shooter. She says it like it is, and I respect that. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, giving you all the information of what's going on with the sun. Definitely worth to listen to as well. There is Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. Mary Greeley's got a lot of good information of what's going on with the earthquakes and everything that's going on with Yellowstone as well. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. Truth Be Told with Tara. Definitely check her out as well. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall is a great guy, very passionate about the weather, but he gives back to the community in such a huge way, and that is awesome as well. There is Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand as well. A lot of good information. He says it like it is, and he lets you decide what you want to, take from that, and I like that. There's Deep South Homestead. Deep South Homestead is another very family-friendly oriented channel, and I would ask you to go support them as well. There is The Outsider up in Maine. Good channel, a lot of good information there. Betting on Alaska. The young man is the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Nice young man, 18 years old, starting his journey up in Alaska. Made a ton of mistakes, but he's learning from them, which is important, and that's how you do it. You do it, you make the mistakes, and you go, okay, well, I'm not doing that again. You have the Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Town Sense, showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. You have the Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. You have East Tennessee Preparedness, the Economic Ninja, and last but not least, Little House Off Gritty, also down in Tennessee. A lot of good information out there, a lot of good channels. I do believe we should be supporting each other, and I think that that is important. And so that's what I would ask you to do. And like I said, there's other channels that people put in the chat, which is fine. I can't give a shout out to everybody. I'd be here all day talking about all kinds of channels. So again, the biggest thing that I hope that you take away from watching my channel, and hopefully you learn something. I totally encourage you to learn from my mistakes because I have made plenty and I have shared them. A lot of criticism because of that, and that's okay. I don't care. Like I said, I got broad shoulders. I'll take the criticism. But if I screw up, show you and then do it right, and then say, hey, don't do it this way, do it this way. It saves you from making that same mistake. And I think that that's important. And so that's what I definitely hope that you get out of that. And plus, that you are not a victim. I don't want you guys to be victims. The more prepared you are, the better off you're going to be, and you won't be that victim when the time comes. And maybe you learn something too again, and that's what we're trying to do. And I'm also trying to show you that yes, a group of strangers can come together and work together and make a family and be there for each other. And I think that that's important. So criticism gets you views still. Oh yeah, it does. Like I said, I do not mind constructive criticism. I never have minded constructive criticism. I will not tolerate hate. That's what I won't tolerate. You know, if somebody wants to come on and do nothing but bash you, that's not constructive criticism. So 106K subs, but only 250 watching. Well, why don't you ask YouTube why that is? Why don't you ask YouTube why that is? Right? And we had over 400 earlier, but I guess you weren't here for that, and that's okay. But yeah, when you are shadow banned and your information is not put out there, hard for the channel to grow, hard to get new people coming into the channel. So when people don't get notifications, when they are unsubscribed all the time, it's hard for things to continue to grow. Just putting that out there. I used to get a lot more views. You know, at one point I was picking up over 100 subscribers a day, over 100 a day, and then YouTube went not just to my channel, but to a whole bunch of channels. It is what it is. So we deal with it. So that's all part of it. All right, let's do this. We are Legion because we are many. What is shadow banning? They're not putting your information out there in the algorithm. So like people aren't getting, hey, check out this video from whatever channel. They don't put it out there. They're gonna show you the videos of stupid cat tricks and all that type of stuff. So we got Philip in Melbourne, Australia, Omaha, Nebraska with Larry, the UP of Michigan with Dawn, Southwest Iowa with Vicky, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge, Janet up in BC, Canada, Steve-O in Utah, Franklin County, Ohio with Comet Moon, Hillsboro, Oregon with Chewy, Waterloo, New York with Sharon, Maine with Annette, Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert, Canton, Ohio with Chad, Southwest Ohio with Barbara, BC, Canada with Emil in the house, Clyde from Inverness, Florida, Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol, Palatico, Idaho with Janita, Central Virginia with Janet, East Central Illinois with Ranger. We got Tennessee in the house, the Ozarks, Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster, Morning Light coming at us from West Virginia, Leesburg, Florida with Joan, Dwindwaddle, Virginia with Mr. Black Cat. We got Connecticut in the house with Cat. We got Maryland with Teresa. Deep in Texas, Desert Badlands with Ron. Southern Connecticut with Bob. Long Island in the house with Helen. So again, folks, all over the place, all over the country, all over the world. Huge, huge network of people. Northern Virginia. Cashaton, Ohio. Lulu, I hope I said that right. I'm sure I did not. So, but like I said, again, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that can make a difference. We can make a difference now, and we can definitely make a difference after an event. We got Awesome Sauce coming at us from Connecticut. Like I said, if we ever got organized and squared away, man, they would lose their minds. They would lose their minds. Carol said, Ed Sharon Barrett is starting her own channel. Oh, that's cool. Good for her. I wish her well. So, but again, we got Lisa coming at us out of Tennessee, Prescott, Arizona, with Mars Gold. No notification and booted by ads. Unbelievable. That's crazy. Yeah. So when people don't get notified that, and that's the thing is, guys, I live stream the same times. I live generally on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 8 o'clock, like clockwork. And people know that I do that. But if you're just somebody that's just new that's coming into the channel, you're not going to know that. And like I said, if you don't get a notification, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example of something. I am subscribed to uh, Russell Brand, right? You know how many notifications of anything that I get from Russell Brand? None. I get nothing, no notifications. So, why do they do that? Because they don't want you to go watch those channels. Observant Servant coming at us from Southern Illinois. Very nice. But that's what happens. It's again, it's part of the game. If they don't want you to share information that they don't want you to share, they're going to shadow ban you. It's just a fact. So Don Hill says I never get Russell's notification. Yeah, exactly. So we got Donald coming at us out of Connecticut. It's part of the game, folks. It's like what we have to deal with. Snohomish, Washington, with Wichita. So, like I said, it's part of it. There's nothing I can do about it. But I just continue to make videos, and if people come and watch them, great. If the channel starts to grow, awesome. If it doesn't, it is what it is. There's not much I can do. There's not much I can do. So I just I set my alarms on my phone because YouTube has been unsubscribing me from channels. Wow, Annette just said that. Yep. Yeah, and why is that? You know what I mean? Why would they do that? So, but anyway, it happens. You know what I mean? It happens. So, so JJ had to that was the one that asked. I kind of had a feeling. I don't know what JJ just removed, but yeah, I had a feeling that person wasn't family friendly. Let's just say, but but yeah, it's just like I said, it's all part of what we got to deal with. Oh, he was bashing other channels. Okay, JJ. Well, like I said again, not going to have it. Not gonna. So I appreciate you removing that. But we're not. Like I said again, that's something else. Again, on this channel, just to remind everybody, don't come in here bashing other channels because it's not going to be allowed. It's just not. I don't think it's necessary. It's not. If you hate another channel, go tell somebody on somebody else's channel how you hate them, because it's not going to be allowed here. All right. We truly are, folks, all in. Oh wait, first of all, I've got to go back. Let me reverse. What was that? I'm trying to think. Um, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. How did he say it? I don't remember. Gene Wilder. Love that movie, by the way. One of my favorite all-time movies. The original, not the lame remake. So just putting that out there. Um, Anyway, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely awesome job keeping the chat clean. Very much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. You guys are awesome, and I thank you for what you're doing. Means a lot to me. Also, I want to thank all you guys for being here, supporting the channel as well. And I really enjoy these chats, and I think if we can learn something from each other, that's awesome. And hopefully, it all goes. Tina says I packed 100 pounds of sugar, 45 pounds of oatmeal while listening tonight. Great info again. Watching from Iowa. Very cool, Tina. That's awesome. Keep that up because that's important. That's important. That's a good thing. So, but all right, guys. Remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us using race, religion, political affiliation. All those things mean nothing. We have to come together as human beings. And as soon as we can do that, we're going to be in better shape. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about how we feel every day. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you use that mantra, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. Anything. Okay. The only person that's going to stop you and hold you back is going to be you. That's it. So if you stay positive and stay away from the negativity and stay away from negative people that tell you what you can't do, best way to do it is look at those people and say, "Watch me." Um, Dawn back in the hospital? Oh, really? I hadn't seen that. Oh, JJ's back in the hospital. JJ, give me a holler after the live stream, brother. Give me a holler after the live stream. All right. So, anyway, be safe, everybody. Keep prepping. Keep taking care. Leukemia problems? What? Yeah, give me a holler, brother, when the stream is over. Be safe, everybody, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now. Hell, stop. I know, I love you. Wait, let me finish. Stop. Stop, lunatic. I know, I see you.